we have to partner with our teachers so that we can help the students. Yes, when I say parent portal, I am referring to Aspen. So though that we can help our students to respond to their teachers. It's really important the students know how to answer back, how to keep track of emails. So please get in touch to help your student keep in touch with their teacher and the administrators. Make sure that you have an Aspen account, a parent portal account. If you don't know and you don't have that, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Norma, you can reach out to your school administrator. But you must be on parent portal so that you can keep track. Grades are going to count, attendance is going to count. So it's important you can keep track of when your student checks into class, what assignments haven't been turned in, and that kind of a thing at all times. I'm going to try to answer the chat after I get through each slide instead of as the questions come up. So make sure that you have a parent portal account. Organize the emails into folders. Again, during our Google Classroom, presentations, you'll learn how to organize emails into folders. Your students need to have a folder for each class so that they can go in and check their Google email daily, see what the teachers have posted. You can also request access to your students' Google Classroom. So you go through, the teacher should send you a link in the first week of school so that you can actually get into their classroom and you can get into their emails and you can know what's going on. Help your students to create a list of their usernames and their passwords. Again, we're asking a lot of these kids, unprecedented. So they may need the kind of help that you are not used to providing because you're not a teacher. So make them a list of their usernames and their passwords. And you've got to help your kids with the critical skill of self-management. Help them, teach them. We as adults know how to chip away at the workload. It's going to feel overwhelming because they're not in a classroom. So we're going to get into schedules in a little bit, but help them to create a schedule and meet their deadlines. Let me just get into this chat and see. All classrooms, you will, you guys are chatting too quickly here. So, yes. Yeah, this will be recorded. We have a YouTube channel and we have a Parent University website. We also will be sharing this presentation next week as well as the Google 101 next week. I can share with you the YouTube station so that you will know exactly how to get into it. It won't just show up. We'll share the link in the chat. You should find it, yes. I already answered your questions about somebody is, yeah, thank you. I will share the slide to do the survey at the end. We'll share with you the schedule for all of the future meetings in the chat too. Call your school office for anything that you need in terms of attaining Aspen or parent portal. I'm also going to give you my information at the end of this slide. You can also ask me, share your questions with me. We did add more Google 2.0 classrooms for in the future. Yeah, so emails should be sent on the daily. Teachers will, you should help your student to check your email during the school day. Yes, your first grader will also get Google email. All CPS students will have Google email. I am going
to. Good morning, Norma. Good morning, Ellen. Just wanted to pop in and say hello to everybody and thank you. This seems to be a very informative session. I'm just wondering, can we just go through the session? And I know there's a lot of interesting comments in the chat. Can we go through the session first and then take these questions later? That would
All right.
probably be for
I
the
know
benefit of our
you.
audience.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. There's a lot of questions in the chat, but we
Yeah.
can definitely do that.
Thank you.
No
And
problem.
please know to our audience that if you do not get a direct answer within the time that we have, we do record this session, so we will get back to you in writing. If you want to leave your email in the chat, you can do so, and we'll get those responses to you via email if you don't have time to address it during this session. Thank you all.
Thank you. That famous face was Chip Johnson. He is the Chief of Family and Community Engagement. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Alan.
Yep. Okay. That's what we'll do then, because there is a lot going on in the chat. So,
Right.
and we won't have another person to read the chat. So we'll do that. Okay. So creating a workspace, let's move on with that. So creating a workspace with little or no distractions is the easiest way for your student to get work done. Keep it clear of clutter. I realize that we live in all kinds of different dwellings, and I'm not suggesting that each child will have their own desk. If you can't create a workspace, just get a box or a bin or a Ziploc bag and put into that all of the stuff that they're going to need to make sure that they have everything at their fingertips to get their work done. Most importantly, and I say this as a mom, as a teacher, and as a FACE manager, get your child out of their bed. So no matter what, they cannot check into their Google Classroom while laying in their bed. We need to differentiate, because now the lines are so blurred between work and school and home. We have to create a place within the home that is school. Get creative. Don't be afraid to get creative in making their space. And even allow your children, going back to taking responsibility for the work, allow your children to set it up with you so that they take ownership of their learning space. Even if it's in the kitchen and they don't have their own room, or they don't have a space of their own, or it's a shared space, what I did was I took blue painter's tape and I squared off an area of the kitchen table, and that became one of my child's spaces for learning. If they do well on the floor, if they're the kind of person like my son that they got to be moving around, go ahead and let them go under the kitchen table. Put a sheet over the kitchen table and create a fort under the table. And for young kids, that might be a really nice place. Whatever it is they can own, they're going to be there every day, Monday through Friday. They need to have all of their school supplies there. Work with the student, work with the teacher, see what they need. Pencils, papers, crayons, anything that the kids, for the older kids, maybe they need their headphones or whatever it is they need. If you can find a whiteboard or use a whiteboard, that's always going to be helpful. There is whiteboard paint. So you could go to Home Depot, you can get that whiteboard paint and create a little space where they can write things down there. You can also get chalk paint. That would be fun for your student, and cross off a little area of the house, make that their chalkboard, and let them work in that area. The most important thing that I'm saying here is it has to be a space that they call their own. It has to be school. And you again, it can just be a small space on a small table, but it's theirs and they own it and they work there. A well-lit area is really important, as they're going to be spending more time on their computer than ever before. So whatever, if you can get a lamp, put a lamp there, whatever you can do to create a workspace that is theirs. Again, I really suggest that you let them help you set that space. Okay, so to-do lists. To-do lists become very important for me always, but certainly in remote learning. Writing things down helps your kids reduce the stress, and it will allow your child to feel more relaxed. So they give us a feeling of being in control of our lives and of our actions. It's important, whether they're in kindergarten or in 12th grade, that they end each day or start each day with a written to-do list. Crossing off all of the items on their list gives your child a sense of accomplishment. It gives them a sense of progress. So it's important that, again, in that workspace is paper, lined paper, or Post-it notes, or whatever it is that makes your child feel like it's theirs. Because each teacher is going to be assigning different assignments. So for example, if one of your teachers tells your child that here's your assignment for this paper, it's due Friday, and that's on a Monday. Every day on that to-do list, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you should, until that assignment is accomplished, move that over to the next day's to-do list and the next day's to-do list, so that it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, because they're going in the classroom, and because each day their classroom is going to be their special workspace. They need to get there in the morning and look at their list and know that all of that needs to be done today, and cross it off as it gets done. I like to-do lists, and I think the easiest way to keep your child organized is each class has a to-do list. So in science, they've got to read 30 pages by Wednesday. That's going to go on Monday, Tuesday's to-do list, so that it's organized by class, and each day your student knows, as well as you, what needs to get accomplished that day. More important than ever is going to be these lists. Whether you do 6 different lists, 1 list, and that's the kind of person, we can't expect our kids to necessarily know how to do that, or the value of it, or even the feeling that comes with it. It's up to us as parents to know that we need to make sure that each and every day they are organized enough to stay ready for their week that's ahead. I like to do it at night before I go to bed. My daughter likes to do them in the morning. You have to understand how your student learns best. Schedules. So here is the crux of it all.
Hello.
So there are many different ways and many different types. Lisa, if you could mute yourself, that'd be great. Different types of schedules.
But I have a question.
Okay, do you want to put it in the chat, or I'm going to open it up for a Q&A at the end. I'll leave at least 15 minutes for that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. There are so many different kinds of schedules. Don't be afraid, and don't be stuck in one, and that's what you decided on August 27th, and that's the schedule we're going to use. You might find as things go on that schedule just didn't work for you. It didn't work for your child. So don't lock yourself into one. Play around with it, see what works best for you, talk to your teachers, and then have fun while you try to navigate all the different schedules. I've got like 6 or 7 here that I think are ways to do it. You can certainly do traditional by subject, so that it looks like on that whiteboard or on that piece of paper or on that table, the schedule is 8 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, 9 to 9:30, and that's when your student is going to get things done: reading, math, social studies, science, and that's the other idea is voice and choice. So your student could say to you, Mom, I want to do everything in these, or Mom or Dad or Grandma, whoever, I'm going to do everything in the morning because that's why I work best. Help them to write up a schedule that they get all of their work done in the morning. Other than being in class, and I'm really talking here about when they're not in class, because they're going to have homework, they're going to have work outside school. Maybe morning and evening. Maybe if everybody in the house is working, it's best that your student does their homework early in the morning and later in the evening after work, because Mom or Dad, whomever, can't join in and can't help during the day. So go ahead and do your classes, and we'll work together early in the morning and late in the evening, late after dinner, to get your homework done. Some students like to work just by project. So I have a science project. I'm just going to work on that every single day until it's done, and that's going to be my focus. There are also other not time specific, so you can clump it into different categories, again, more like by subject. So I don't like to schedule myself from 8 to 10 and 10 to 12 and 12 to 1. I like to work that in the morning I'm going to do this, in the afternoon I'm going to do that, and then I'll share these different templates with you if that's what you want to do. There's also, moving on to calendars, there's also millions of different calendars and millions of different scheduling ways on the internet. You can Google how to schedule your child. Just find a calendar system that works best for you. I use a family calendar, so I'm a little obsessive. I color code. So my oldest son uses yellow. My next son uses the green highlighter. My daughter uses the purple highlighter, so that I can see as a parent what each child has and what needs to be done for each child day to day or in different schedules. You can use that. You can use a family calendar. Maybe your students are older and they want to have their own calendar. So that's possible too. There's two examples on the previous screen that I'm going to share with you at the end of the presentation. And then, so I just want to talk for a minute before we get into this Q&A and the chat about the breaks, the importance of taking breaks. Your students need to take a break. You need to take a break. So allow plenty of free time. Allow them to get up. Allow them to move around. Allow them to take physical breaks from the computer. Do push-ups, eat a snack. Do not let them play with video games during the breaks. So the whole point of the breaks is going to be that they get away from their screen, they get up, they move around. Remember that in school, they got up and they moved to lunch and they moved to gym. You want to still be able to do that. You want them to be able to get up from the screen, move to a different room, move to either a different room in the house, if they can take a step outside. So don't be afraid to allow your student to take as many breaks as they need. Consider implementing a reward system. Again, I said this earlier, we're asking a lot of our kids. We never had to do this. We don't know what this feels like. Consider what motivates your child. Is the reward system going to be, my gosh, you tuned in every day, you did your to-do list, you get to go get ice cream at the end of the week. Or for the older kids, you know, you get to stay out an hour later with your friends. Consider an award system, a reward system, because there's just not a one-size-fits-all approach that's going to keep our kids organized and engaged and interested in learning. So what motivates your child? Take the time to learn maybe what motivates your child, and consider giving them a reward that motivates them at the end of the day, at the end of the week, for some students at the end of the hour. Accept that this is going to be a struggle. Students, young people, old people, we all learn and struggle, and I know it's hard to watch your child struggle. That's part of the story here in this pandemic. So use the resources that you have around you. Use the teachers, use the administration, use the FACE staff, use the different people that you have to help you organize your student, stay focused, and stay engaged in learning. Positive energy, focus, pace, and understanding is going to keep you, the parent, sane through all of this remote learning. So give yourself a break, step away, come back. All right, let's get into questions. I will try to read the chat here. You can also unmute yourself and ask the questions, but let me go through the chat. When I call the school, they always say to wait for an email. So I'm assuming that this question relates to Aspen and Parent Portal. This was from Krista. So if the school is asking you to wait for an email or wait for an email with how to get on Parent Portal, if you want to reach out to me, I can help you to navigate. I don't know what school you're at, and navigate Parent Portal in Aspen. I know it's going to take a little while to get everybody on, and that is something that we can work at. It's a school by school thing, so I'm happy. Happy to help you with that. Students in ODLSS will receive emails as well, I believe. If you need help, I can also, again, Tia, help you to reach out to the ODLSS department and make sure that your child, your diverse learner, has everything that they need. I'm assuming these emails are for me to reach back out to you to see what questions you have. Okay, yeah, we can send you the schedule for the Google 2.0 that's happening. Sent to me. Okay, and we can also schedule, send you this. Our school won't allow flexible schedule. I'm not sure. What do you mean by that?
Could I ask a question?
Of course.
Can I go ahead and ask you now?
Sure.
So we are new CPS parents, and I just wanted to know when the school starts on September 8th, what are the must-haves that I should be ready with for my son? My son already has a Google account,
Okay.
but from your presentation today, I understand that having an Aspen account is mandatory. I just wanted to get your guidance. How should we be ready with things that are must-have on the first day of school?
So that's a really excellent question. Thanks for asking. I bet other people have it. I would say the must-haves for the first day of school, your teachers, each teacher, as your child, I don't know if you said it was a son or a daughter, gets ready for school, each one of your children, each one of the classes that your student attends, your teacher will give you a school supply list. They will give you the Google Calendar. I believe most of the schools have on their school website a list of what your student's going to need. Also, many of the schools in the next week are doing a Google 2.0 or technology session for parents to help you get involved. Is your school doing that?
Yes, it's coming in slowly. We got our class tag invitation yesterday, so the teacher has, written out a small welcome and all of that, which is great. What I'm still not understanding is, do I need to have a mandatory Aspen account on the first day of school so that I can access it? And also, since we're first-time parents, does my son need to get a CPS ID first to log into that Google account? I don't know how that is going to work.
If your son is registered in CPS, he has a CPS ID. If you want to reach out to me, I'm going to...
Yes, if you could please on the chat.
Right there is my email. I'm Ellen Rosenfeld, and my phone number. Oh, yeah, erosenfeld@cps.edu. And I can help you to navigate that with your school specifically.
Fantastic.
Your student has a CPS ID if they're a CPS student.
Okay.
And your school should also be able to get you.
Yes, they actually have a very good arrangement. The only thing is, I think once a week, the office clerk probably comes in, and because there are a lot of new registrations, so it's going to take a little time for them to get to, my son is going to be in 3rd grade. But I just wanted to be sure that on the first day of school, which is 8 September, should I be ready with my Aspen account? Because that will allow me to see what is going on. And let's say if I don't have that account, then does my son just sit idle? So
no, absolutely not. Your son, you don't need that account for your son to get started on the first day of school.
Okay.
Ideally, you'll be on Aspen, but you don't need it. He will not sit idle, no.
So if he has a Gmail account, that is good enough then.
Yeah, again, let's talk offline, but I can talk to you right after this session. I'm free.
Yes, I'll just call you at your number then. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Very grateful.
Yes. You will have access back to the Q&A. You'll have access to this in text. That would be positive.
Very grateful. Thank you.
Okay, Holly asks, will Google and YouTube classrooms have captioning? Yes. I'm not sure on that. I'll get back to you on that. You should be able to have closed captioning on the Google and YouTube classrooms, but it's very easy to just turn it on. So my guess is yes, that the teacher, it's probably something you want to reach out to in terms of closed captioning to the teachers or the administrators. I agree. I have kids that can be very active as well. I think ideally it's nice to redirect it until the end of class. That's why maybe in the case of your son, your child, Holly, you create that space that is his own fort. Let him take ownership of the learning area. Maybe have there some of his little toys he can use to like move his hands around or something. Ideally, because when they do go back to school, they are going to have to sit in class. And that's something they would learn in the classroom. So you as the parent need to encourage that they do that at home as well. That's the importance of getting out of bed, getting to your learning space, and staying in that learning space until class is over. We are not going to be in this forever. So it's important that the kids get the resources they need to be students in a classroom, hopefully very soon. In the chat is the evaluation, as well as access to the YouTube channel and past recordings on the website. So you can get into that if you need to get into that. Take TK. You had to contact school directly. I cannot express to you the importance and the value in reaching out to your schools. Your schools are there for you. Your administrators are there for you. Your teachers are there for you. So you had to reach out to get the report card. That's okay. Don't be afraid. We are partners. We at FACE, we at CPS, we as teachers, we administrators are doing everything we can to make sure your student is successful in their remote learning. So if you have to reach out to them on the daily, feel free to do that. Encourage your student to do that. Again, back to the first side, taking ownership of their learning. Encourage your student to reach out to their teachers. They're there for them. To reach out to the administrators if need be. It's not, you are not as a parent expected to know everything that is the right thing to do here in remote learning. We're learning together, and teachers are more than happy to work with you and your students. So I can't encourage you enough to reach out to me, reach out to your parents. Thank you, Kirsten. You should, if your student has not been issued a CPS email, reach out to your school, reach out to the staff, reach out to a teacher, you can call the school. Somebody is in the school every day. When will the recordings be posted to the above sites? If the trainings are emailed, please share with me also. I too was not able to get onto the Google one yesterday. Google will be repeated again next week. The recording should be posted within, I'm gonna say a day or so. It should be up there. So you should be able to get that recording. Wonder where I can find information on how to navigate Google Classroom. My son is new to CPS, going into kindergarten. So Patrick, two things are possible. A lot of the schools are having technology seminars. So you could reach out to your school and see if they are going to allow you to learn Google Classroom or give you a teacher. We also in FACE are going to be running these sessions this week and all of next week and the first week of school. So if you subscribe to our mailing list, you should be able to get onto one of those sessions, and we're going to teach you how to navigate Google Classroom. We're going to run these sessions as many times as we need to make sure all of the parents are informed. I hope that answers that for you, Patrick. Oh, if I can repeat the question prior to answering, now I'm too late. Yanira asked if I could repeat the question prior to answering it. Alexis tried to log in yesterday, but it was full. I understand that was a problem. I think we are probably working on that in FACE, and that's why we're going to run these sessions multiple times. We are going to hit every single parent that needs help navigating. Please feel free to reach out to me or my colleague there, Bernice, and we will make sure that you have the link to get onto the next Ready, Set, Go or Google Classroom. Sebastian asked, where can we get this recorded session? The recorded session will be at our YouTube station, which you can find here in the chat, as well as our parent university website. Dennis asked, How often are teachers expected to enter grades into Aspen? I hate data dumps when it's too late to react. Dennis, I do too. As a parent, I like to keep up on my students' grades. I don't think the district has placed any specifics on that. It's probably a school by school or administrator's decision. I suggest that you reach out to the administrator of your school and ask that question. You may be able to ask it teacher by teacher. I'm not sure if how often that is required. Alexis asks, is it the same process? Alexis, I'm not sure what the it is in that question. I'm not sure what the same process is. AP asks, if my child is a child with an IEP, is going the same way of teaching them? Is it going the same way of teaching them? So you can reach out to me, and I'm going to give you over to the Office of Diverse Learner Student Supports, where you can get all of your information on your diverse learner. Please feel free to email me with that question or share your email in the chat, and I will let you know. The Hoods asks, my students are only given 7:45 to 2:45, not different time frames. You mean for the classes? I'm guessing for you, your students' actual class schedule has not come out yet. Those will be released in the next few days. My students' class schedules have not come out, personally as a mom, have not come out yet in terms of what classes they're expected to be in what time they're expected to be in each class. Correct, Marissa. They are, she says schedules are being created by teachers as we speak. Teachers don't officially report back until next week. So you're going to get the class schedule and all of that as it becomes available. Like I said, my students don't have their exact class schedules either. Krista says, my twins are both diverse learners. I'm wondering how they will be receiving speech and OT based on their IEPs. We do not have any online accounts yet for anything. So far, all we have received is a school supply list and forms to fill out. No schedules or anything else. My twins are entering pre-K at Darwin. Krista, if you could reach out to me at my email address there, I can help connect you to the right people. That information is forthcoming. We're still a little early on all of the details.
No more Katie.
Al asks, good morning. Can I get the recorded session from Google 2.0 as well? Yes, Al, you can. Alexis, we went to the meet yesterday, but it was too full. Is the same process on their work on Google Meets? That's again why we're going to offer the Google session multiple times in the next week, because we understand that it was too full, and I apologize for that. We can send you the recorded message, or you can join a different session. I think there was a bigger demand that we realized. Carla asks, is the whole same grade going to be in the same meeting each class? No. Your student will have different classes. So they will meet with their classroom teacher in their Google Meet. The whole grade won't be all together. Yes, Tiffany, Tiffany asks, can we leave if we don't have any questions? We ask that you fill out the evaluation first, but if you're done, of course. Laura says, I'm a new CPS parent too, and was able to get access to Aspen by reaching out directly to my local school once all my enrollment papers were due. Again, that's why I encourage you to reach out to your school specifically, and they will guide you through the steps that you need to do. Tiffany asks, will we have 200 people every class? No, Tiffany, we will not have 200 people every class. Let's see. Asking, can you please add me to the English 2.0 session from yesterday also? They were having issues and I wasn't, yes. Kathy, how do you know where to log in day one? Kathy asks, how do we know where to log in day one? You should get an email from your school that's going to tell you what day one exactly should look like. If you don't receive that email, give them a call. If that is unsuccessful, feel free to reach out to me and I will help you to navigate that. It's asking here, can we see a step-by-step instructions for day one? So again, step instructions for day one is going to come from your school, hopefully in the next few days. Hang in there, schools are trying to get organized. They're trying to figure out class schedules and class lists. So hopefully by then in the next week, you're going to hear from your school. I've got everybody here that's asking to be included in the Google. This should end. You're free to leave whenever you want. This too is going to be recorded. Claudia asked, when will this end? I have a class in 10 minutes. I have a call in 10 minutes. Patrick asks, if school has not been responsive to me reaching out for help, can we contact you directly? Yes, please do. Contact me directly. We can talk about your school and the issues that you're having. So we are new to CPS. Should both my kid and us have an Aspen account? So as a parent, you will be able to log on to the Aspen account. Your school, the clerk at your school or your school administrator will be able to help you get on to Aspen. You can also reach out to Aspen directly or me, and you will get the login credentials. Okay, the next question is, it would be helpful to have a step-by-step guide and info they need on what they should expect to receive from CPS email, Aspen, Google Classroom, all of that. I agree, Adam. We are going to work to create a step-by-step guide. You can reach out to me and I can give you information on step-by-step, or your school is going to be in touch with you. Can we have a schedule of sessions? I think we can add that here to the chat so you can, or please join our mailing list. I am going to go back to the beginning here and, oh, you know what? And show you how to, can you add the mailing list, Janet, link to here so that parents can join the mailing list? You can get your Aspen account from the clerk in your school. So reach out to your school. Again, I know I'm saying that a lot. You can get the schedule of sessions. Right there is the mailing list. If you in the chat, if you sign up for that, you'll see the schedule of all of the classes that we offer. Also included there, we've uploaded again on the chat how you can get to the Parent University website and the YouTube channel to see the schedule. Hi, Ellen. What are the various things that new parents can reach out to? You can reach out to me for anything. As a FACE manager, I work with family and community, and I'm also a parent and a teacher. So please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help you navigate this system. I was new to CPS too, and I've worked in CPS for a while. So anything, they ask, what can we reach out to you about? Anything that you want in terms of CPS. The email this is asking, what if we want to subscribe? The email to subscribe is here in our chat. Join the mailing list and you'll see all of the great classes that we offer to parents, not just Google 2.0. So you can join from now through the fall and hopefully even through the winter, because we do all kind of parent support classes. Student social emotional learning, so how to help your child get through the various feelings that they're feeling during this. We have movement classes for parents. We have cooking classes for parents. So all of the things that you might need to be supported, we offer through Parent University and through our face-to-face programming. So sign up for the mailing lists. So I can't, it's asked if I can send a list of school supplies. So school supplies are a school by school list, even classroom by classroom or grade level by grade level, go to your school's website and you might find the school supply list there, or call the school and maybe they can send it to you. It's asking here, will classes work to be formatted so that they can print the work or students can write on them? Different teachers are going to do it different ways. Also, most schools will offer you an opportunity to pick up the written class schedule, the written work. If you're not able to print it, you can go to the school and get sort of a packet for many schools. Reach out to your school or wait till the first day and talk to the teacher and see what their expectation is. If they're going to want students to use Google to turn papers in, or how they're going to want your student to work at it. This is being asked, where can I find the website to Parent University? If you go into the chat, you will see the website for the Parent University. That is the end of what is there in the chat. Is there anybody else that has a question that didn't get answered? If you do, please feel free to ask it now. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. So yeah, I just want to ask if we can use students' Aspen account to log into Aspen.
Yes, I mean, I work with your student, and I personally go through my student's account to check their grades. I have them sit down with me. We go through Aspen together. I encourage you to have your student come sit next to you, and you navigate that together.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you all so much for joining. I know that it's a scary time. I know as a parent, I'm a little overwhelmed. Take a deep breath, take it one step at a time. You have lots of resources to reach out to. Please do. Don't be afraid to use the teachers, the administrators, and the FACE staff to get all of your information answered. I don't see any more questions in the chat. Please go to the chat and do an evaluation for this session.
Hey, Ellen,
Yes.
can you hear me?
I hear you.
The email for the mailing list is not working, and they keep reposting the same tiny URL, and it keeps landing on a page that says it's an unusable link. So.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I will reach out to IT and see why that's not working. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it.
Actually, there's a link aside from that. You know, the link is available on that website, and then I've tried that link, and then it worked for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the second link, it redirects you.
Yeah.
But there is something funky going on.
Okay.
It's a little weird.
All right, we'll get to it. We'll fix it. Andres, I think if you could mute. Anybody else? Feel free to call me, reach out to me, send me an email, whatever you might need. However we can support, we're here to support. Thank you so much. Jasmine, I will email it to you, yes. She asked that we email this presentation to her. I am available right now at that number, yes.